Gen Alpha will be a large prison population. I warned about this. I've said that at Gen Alpha, they are the first generation to come from such a large population of single parents. So 43% of Gen Alphas are coming from fatherless households. 43%. That's a massive number. Massive, massive number. You know, when you take that into consideration and you factor in that 80% of the people in prison come from fatherless homes, that's just one huge factor there. But then to take it a step further, Gen Alpha has the highest illiteracy rate of all generations over the last 100 years. Illiteracy. This is insanity. They have lower literacy rates than the silent generation, than even the greatest generation. This is how bad Gen Alpha is. So, those factors alone are statistical predictors telling us that Gen Alpha has significant chances of ending up in prison. And when you look at their behavior in society, they're getting into fights, they're being handcuffed. You know, the schools are calling the police, and some people might say, well, back in my day, teachers would handle children that were misbehaving. They're not throwing simple tantrums where they're kicking and screaming or they're yelling. No, they're throwing hands. They are throwing hands. They are destroying property. They'll go around the entire area and destroy everything in the vicinity. They will throw hands, and they will start use. And guys, they speak Ebonics. They speak Ebonics. They are very, very shameful, this generation, and it's sad. A lot of it has to do with, the society that the boomers have created, and which they are extremely proud of. I have a video from the amazing Lucas. I'm going to link his channel in the description so you can go and check it out. But we're going to watch some of this video. Basically, a Gen Alpha is on a school bus. He's on a bus, and the kid is white. There's a black girl on there. They know each other. Evidently, they they've had issues with one another before, and he basically throws some very disrespectful language at her. And the person who's driving the vehicle then basically confronts the alpha, and the alpha basically lets him know that he can also catch these hands. I'm just making it very, very clear that this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And there are some people who are going to be offended right away, and they're going to start, saying that, well, like, how dare, like, this is an issue with a specific group of people. This has nothing to do with white or black. People need to remember this is a child. This is a child. You are an adult. Okay? Forget about his parents, forget about all of that. This is a child. All right? This kid, this is his behavior. And you have to look at his aggressiveness. This is not about race. This is literally about Gen Alpha and the fact that they have no self-control and where they are headed. They are headed to prison. They are 100% headed to prison. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Gen Alpha will be a large prison population. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's pretty obvious. I feel sorry for them. I do, but at the same time, like, I have my own problems. Like, they're a lot, like, it's over. There is no going back from this. There's no fixing this problem with this generation. Most of them have already been born, and there's not going to be anything that's going to change this at this point. I think the only change that we can see, the only generation where we'll see real significant change, will be possibly maybe 1 to 2 generations from now. Could things change with Gen Beta? It could, but for that to happen, there would have to be policy changes. And if you can notice, feminism has not changed. Woke culture has not changed. These things are still alive and they're still going strong right now. Even as there are people who are running away from these things, there's still way too many people who are supporting them. The media is pushing forward with it. So it's not changing fast enough. There's no major radical shift. There are a lot of people who are doubling down. That's the reason why. And Gen Beta, they're going to, come, was it like 2026? That's an entirely other generation of young people that'll be born. So you have to consider that. You have to take that into consideration, that this entirely other generation is on the way right now, and nothing has changed. So they're going to be born into the same crap. Well, I believe their parents are going to be stingier to them, but overall, they're still going to probably end up. A lot of them will still end up getting iPads, still end up playing games on the phone. I've said this, that they may become the first generation that gets trapped in the metaverse. What does that mean? You're gonna see like kids, with these headsets on going forward very soon. Like they'll be the first generation to be born into a world where there has always been a metaverse, and as augmented reality and virtual reality begin to become more prominent and active, you're going to have a lot of these children spending an increased amount of time in these virtual environments. And for us, it was like, well, I'll be 41. I'm a Zennial, but so I've seen it all. But we saw the effect that smartphones had on Gen Z, have had on Gen Z, iPads have had on Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and for Gen Beta, augmented reality and virtual reality spaces may have a very serious impact on them, as they end up spending a lot of their time in these spaces where you slip a headset on them and they're basically lost in an alternate reality. That's what I'm really calling these things, alternate realities, because it's basically an it's like going somewhere else. It's taking your mind somewhere else. It's kind of like moving your consciousness somewhere else. Let's go ahead and jump into this video because it's pretty crazy what we're seeing here.
You were a little ginger kid, but nevertheless, you had this little ginger kid who's talking to this black girl and telling her to shut up N-word.
Can you shut up, Chucky? Thank you.
Can you shut up?
What?
Can you shut up, Nick?
What'd you say?
I said, fucking shut. Can you shut up, Nick?
Huh?
And it's saying it because the girl is like, what did you say? He repeats himself. Shut up, N-word, N-word. And I'm just like, what? There's no way. There's no way. And he's just keeps on repeating himself. He's putting up the middle finger and he's saying all this. And you have an adult who's like, yo, you're going to get your butt beat when your parents find out. And he's like, I don't care. I don't care. And he goes on to threaten the little black girl. He gets up. He's like, you know what? I have enough of you. Like he was about to go and do something.
They're both,
I'm done with you.
And the black girl's like, yo, if you put your hands on me, I'm going to put my hands on you. And he's like, I don't care. I don't care.
If you touch me, I'm gonna touch
David,
you.
I don't care.
Around.
If you touch me, I'm gonna touch you. Like, I'm letting you know that now, bro. If you touch me, I'm gonna touch you.
I don't care.
So I'm letting you know that now. If you put your hands on me, I'm gonna
I
put my
hope you
hands
know
on
I
you.
don't care.
Just gonna let you know, David. You're gonna get your ass beat. So if I was able to sit down back in
I
your
don't
seat,
give a fuck.
and you ain't gonna get in my face, bud.
You're not helping.
The video is crazy. It is crazy. He's like, I'm not going to sit down. Okay, I'm not going to sit.
Driver literally said, you're not going to get in my face. Like, this kid is, like I told you, they're going to be a large prison population. All right? They are going to be a large prison population.
And he ends it with calling her a weak ass B word, bruh. I was just like, who are his parents?
Don't do anything. Weak bitch.
When I talk about culture, because what do they always want to talk about? Culture. Oh, it's a culture problem, Lucas. Okay, father's not in the homes. It's a culture problem. That's why it's a culture. Bro, I've told you this before. This has nothing to do with our culture. Has nothing to do with our culture. You want to tell me that the group of people who have been enslaved, that were stripped of their family.
Listen, you see, this is the big problem with African Americans. They automatically go back to that. All right? This is a little kid. Little kid. There's something wrong with this child. Okay? Think about this real carefully. Even adults who have those views would usually keep their mouths closed so they don't end up in a situation where hands will be thrown. There is something wrong with this child. What this is right here is fatherless behavior. Okay? Think about it carefully from an adult perspective. There is something wrong with this kid, just like there is something wrong with our society. Okay? We live in a toxic society. And it's ridiculous. I've said it once, I'll say it again. They're going to end. A lot of these young people are going to end up in prison because they do not know how to control their emotions. All right. Look at the people who are in prison. Look at a lot of those thugs in prison. All of those thugs in prison. What's a pattern? What's a thing that you notice with these people? They are very emotional. All of these men that are in prison, all right, that are in like maximum security, these are emotional men. Very emotional men. Okay. It doesn't matter if they are black or white. There's a big pattern with them. They are emotional and they often come from fatherless homes. Guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying the content on this channel and you want even more of this content, head over to the Men Walking Away channel where I post daily videos. There's a link to the Men Walking Away channel description video. Go over there, check the content out, enjoy. What do you guys think regarding this? Do you agree that Gen Alpha will be a large prison population? Let me know your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about it in the comments. There's a full link to the video in the description of the video, so you can check it out there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.